education spending isn't necessary and costs too much. Democrats could possibly pass it on their own. Andy Field, ABC News, Washington.
With the Delta variant spreading just as quickly as predicted, the United States now has recorded more COVID cases than any other country, according to the World Health Organization. President Biden expected to require all federal employees and contractors to be vaccinated or face strict testing and social distancing rules. Some private companies, including Facebook and Google, will require their workers to get the shot. Stanford Medicine's Dr. Ryan Rivera says for them, it just makes sense.
Employers think in dollars and cents, and lost productivity, potential liability from workplace-acquired infections is not something that they're going to want to deal with. And, strongly promoting vaccination is probably the only way to really avoid that.
One of the U.S. Olympians in Tokyo is now infected.
He won bronze at the 2016 Olympics in Rio, and pole vaulter Sam Kendricks came to Japan with his sights set on gold. Well, now he's tested positive for COVID. Dr. Richard Budgett, the medical and scientific director for the International Olympic Committee.
It's tough for any athlete when they're sick in the lead up to this major event. And on top of that, if it happens to be COVID-19, you end up in an isolation hotel, which is really hard.
The track and field events start on Saturday, but Sam Kendricks is out of this year's Olympics. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Tokyo.
COVID cases are up more than 160% in Japan since the games began. You're listening to ABC News.
Do you check your Google search results regularly? You should. People often get their first impression of you or your business online. Negative comments on the internet can impact your life and your livelihood. Take control of your online reputation. Get your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. It may reveal negative posts from an ex-employee, upset patient or client, news article, legal issue, or even exposed personal information right there in your Google search results. Uncover what's lurking on the internet about you with reputationdefender.com's patented scan and get your free reputation report card. Or for immediate assistance with your reputation, call 800-401-6681. Our cutting-edge technology helps make your Google search results look their best. Call 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681. 800-401-6681. Or take the free scan at reputationdefender.com.
The body of a 16-year-old swept away by floodwaters in Arizona last weekend has now been found. Faith Moore called 911 when she was trapped in her car during the floods in Cottonwood, Arizona. She was pulled away as rescuers tried to get to her. Verde Valley Fire Chief Daniel Johnson.
We had about 3 inches of rain in under an hour. Initial reports were that there was about 2 feet of water in that low water crossing. At the height of that event, it got up to 8 feet.
The massive container ship that plugged the Suez Canal in March when it went sideways has finally reached its final destination. The Ever Given pulling into Rotterdam today, carrying over $700 million worth of goods. The ship was held up amid negotiations over who would pay for the damages to the canal. And a cartoon that's been helping teach kids for nearly a quarter century will soon be coming to an end.
Hey, what a wonderful kind of day. Hey!
After more than 9,000 wonderful kinds of days, Arthur is ending with its 25th season. The longest-running children's cartoon in U.S. TV history, Arthur has tackled issues from bullying to cancer to autism spectrum disorder. And season 22 of the show premiered in 2019 with an episode featuring Mr. Ratburn's same-sex marriage. Fans of the popular PBS series distraught by the news that their favorite glasses-wearing aardvark is ready to retire. Will Gans, ABC News, New York.
This is ABC News.
The U.S. dollar is plummeting. Protect your savings against inflation with precious metals. I'm Dinesh D'Souza for Birch Gold Group. Birch Gold Group is who I trust to help you protect your IRA or 401k with gold and silver. With thousands of satisfied customers, an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau, get a free information kit by texting the word PROTECT to 989898. Again, text PROTECT to 989898 today.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
The reasons more and more people are coming to NC Tractor to do business are the selection of Massey Ferguson tractors, Bobcat zero-turn mowers, fantastic customer service, and the special Phil Sheehan seasonal discounts. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford is making dreams come true for folks who want the list.
Good morning and happy Thursday. It's another mild and humid start to your morning. This afternoon, we'll see a partly cloudy sky. Could see a stray shower or storm pop up today, though most areas will stay dry. It'll be hot again today with highs in the low to mid-90s, feeling like 100 to 105 degrees, though, this afternoon. Stray shower for this evening, then dry Friday morning. Friday afternoon, we'll see a few more showers and storms popping up. Some of those may be strong to severe Friday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Who was it said, I'll sure be glad when summer gets here? Who was it said that? Well, it's here. It's 69 right now, reading up to 97 on our thermometer before the day's over with a high humidity even beyond that, probably bumping into about 100. Looks like we'll have threats of showers all the way through Wednesday of next week. 30% on Wednesday with some highs around 80. A little bit cooler, but still possibility of an afternoon pop-up shower during this hot weather. Again, right now we have 69 degrees. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the second hour of 3 of the morning wake-up call. Now I have these death announcements. Betty P. Forbes, 80, of the Cane Creek community, died Wednesday. A more complete obituary will be posted later from Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service for Betty P. Forbes. Creed Jackson, 82, died Tuesday, July 27th at his home in Union Mills. Funeral services will be held 2 p.m. Friday, July 30th at Piney Knob Baptist Church in Rutherfordton. Burial will follow at Welcome Home Baptist Church, Union Mills, with military honors provided by the Rutherford County Veterans Honor Guard. The family will receive friends from 1 until 1:50 prior to the service at Piney Knob Baptist Church. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Creed Jackson. Henry Bud Lynch, 86, of Rutherfordton, died Friday, July 23rd at Hospice House of the Carolina Foothills. The graveside services will be 10 a.m. Thursday this morning at Pleasant Hill Baptist Church Cemetery. Mike Mahan's Funeral Home and Cremation Services in charge of those arrangements for Henry Bud Lynch. Francis Jackson Robbins, 90, of Forest City, died Monday, July 26th. The funeral will be conducted at 2 o'clock today at Southern Baptist Church. Burial will follow in the church cemetery. The visitation will be from 12:30 until 1:45 today at the church prior to the service. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service is in charge of those arrangements for Francis Jackson Robbins. Elizabeth Ann Carpenter Thompson, 86, of Rutherfordton, died July 24th. A private funeral service will be held at New Hope United Methodist Church in Polk County. Mike Mahan's Funeral Home and Cremation Services in charge of those arrangements for Elizabeth Ann Carpenter Thompson. Billy Joe Carl, age 49, of Forest City, passed away Thursday, July 22nd at Spartanburg Regional Medical Center. The funeral service will be conducted at 3 o'clock Saturday, July 31st at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to service time at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Service has been entrusted with those arrangements for Billy Joe Carl. Helen Virginia Silvers, age 85, of Porsche Ford Road, Rutherfordton, passed away Sunday, July 25th at Oak Grove Health Care. The celebration of life for Helen will be held at a later date, and Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Helen Virginia Silvers of Rutherfordton. Thomas E. Morrow passed away July 20th in Wilmington, North Carolina. The Pageant and King Mortuary is in charge of the arrangements. Family and friends are invited to a graveside service on Friday, July 30th at Eternal Hills Memorial Park at 10 o'clock for Thomas E. Morrow. Robert Bob John Thomas, 70, of Rutherfordton, died July 12th. The massive Christian burial will be held 11 o'clock Saturday, July 31st at the Immaculate Conception Catholic Church, Main Street, Forest City. The Pageant and King Mortuary and Crematory serving the family of Robert Bob John Thomas. Those are the death announcements we have in-house this morning. For the complete information on these and others as they become available to us, it can be heard today at 11:35 and then again at 5:10. As part of the afternoon report here on WCAB. The most information from the foothills is right here, 100.9 FM, 590 AM, serving the foothills of the Carolinas.
Bill O'Reilly here, and I'm warming up. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. But first, my trusted technology research executive Jeff Brown has a must-see video out right now on the Great Reset and how it will affect you. The way we spend, save, invest, borrow will be changed forever, according to Jeff. So pay attention, because in his briefing, he'll show you exactly what's going on, the proof, and how you can best prepare. So don't wait. Please watch Jeff's important video report on the Great Reset now. Go to jeffbrowntech.com. jeffbrowntech.com. On this Thursday, I am thinking about a new study from the Cato Institute that says most younger Americans under the age of 35 resent the rich. Apparently, they believe that the wealthy got their money by exploiting the poor. Now, there's absolutely no data to back that up. And I believe most wealthy Americans worked hard and earned their money, or they got very lucky. They inherited it, or they hit a hedge fund hard, something like that. Some people, however, did amass a fortune by using evil tactics. That is true. But most of the affluent in America did not do that. However, jealousy over money has been with us always. I don't get it. I worked so hard for decades to accumulate some wealth. I can't even describe how hard I worked. I started at age 10, shoveling snow, cutting lawns, and then I didn't stop until today. I'm still working hard, and I could have retired a long time ago. So if some younger American gives me some jazz about being affluent, well, I'm going to have a few words for them. It is wrong to generalize about any group, no matter how young you are. Now this. Investors, Bill O'Reilly here. Are you sitting on capital or wanting to diversify? The NRIA Real Estate Development Fund provides returns right now. They capitalize on strategic markets. They offer payouts of 10% annualized returns plus bonuses up to 21%. They are a 15-year industry leader who have seen it all. Start your due diligence at nria.net or call 800-800-1414. That's easy. 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at nria.net.
That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
This is WCAB Rutherfordton, 590 AM, and now on FM at 100.9 FM.
This is your home for Freddie Freeman and your 2021 Atlanta Braves as they battle it out down the stretch.
Ozzie whacks one high in the air, deep right center field, rising back toward the wall, and this one is gone.
This afternoon, the Braves wrap up their enormous road trip to New York as they take on the New York Mets from Citi Field. Braves radio goes on the air at 10:55 Eastern, 9:55 Central on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
Imagine a lady who wouldn't give up her seat on the bus, a TV host who wanted to be your neighbor, or an inventor whose 10,000 failures didn't stop him. These vivid images all share the same caption: inspiration. These people just did their best, and they inspire us. Now, what will you do to inspire others? Inspiration is in you. From PassItOn.com.
At the beginning of the 19th century, the Shoshone and the Blackfoot Indians occupied what is now southern Idaho. In 1781, the Shoshone were plagued with a smallpox epidemic, losing thousands of tribal members. Over the next 25 years, the more aggressive Blackfoot were able to force the weakened Shoshone into the mountains. When Lewis and Clark came through the area in 1805, the Shoshone welcomed them and provided Lewis and Clark with horses to cross the Rocky Mountains. The Shoshone were hoping to get the white man to help them fight the Blackfoot, but unfortunately, the white man turned out to be a greater danger than the Blackfoot. By 1857, the Shoshone had a new chief called Pocatello. During this time, the Mormon were moving into the area occupied by the Shoshone. For about 5 years, the Shoshone and the Mormon battled each other, with a number of atrocities being committed on both sides. In 1863, the government sent a detachment of soldiers to protect the Mormon and pacify the Shoshone. For a couple of months, Chief Pocatello was able to avoid the military, and then he proposed a settlement. If the Mormon would provide the Shoshone with compensation for their lost land and game, the Shoshone would no longer fight them. On July 30, 1863, Pocatello put an X on the Treaty of Box Elder. Unfortunately, the number of settlers continued to grow, and no matter what Pocatello did to forestall it, the Shoshone ended up on a reservation where he died in 1884. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
For a rootin' tootin' great meal, let Jesse James prepare your next lunch. He's got a menu chock full of fresh cooked burgers, fresh salads, hot dogs made any way you like, taco salads, specialty burgers, sandwiches, french fries, and onion rings. Enjoy refreshing milkshakes, Coke floats, or a cone of hand-dipped ice cream. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 4, closed Wednesdays and Sundays. Jesse James Railroad Express, 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton. Call 447-4644, and don't forget the 99-cent hot dogs with mustard, chili, and onions on Mondays only.
Now let's check in with our Sheriff's Department and find out what's been going on the past few hours. And on the phone with me right now is the Sheriff Chris Francis. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Doing well. Trying my best to find cool spots every chance I get.
How's that going for you?
Well, not so good. I'm just wondering who these people are that used to wish for summertime to get here, because it's certainly here upon us headstrong.
Well, I've got to be honest with you. Those were kids wanting to get out of school. Had nothing to do with the heat.
I think you're right. Those who have swimming pools.
This is true, too.
Tell us what's been going on, Sheriff.
In the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has responded to 143 calls for service. There have been 16 arrests processed in county jail, currently incarcerated at 188. Among those arrested, Antonio Dupree Jefferson, 31-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with violation of a release order, received a $2,000 secure bond. Charles Travis Stewart Sr., 51-year-old male of Ellenboro, was charged with failure to register as a sex offender, received a $10,000 secure bond. Jimmy Brandon Baumgartner, 39-year-old male of Rutherford, was charged with cyber stalking, received a $10,000 unsecured bond. Dakota Graham Jenkins, 22-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with failure to appear, received a $12,000 secure bond. Victor Hugo Fabian, 25-year-old male of Union Mills, was charged with assault on a female, communicating threats, received a district court judge for bond. Kristen Michaela Brummett, 21-year-old female of Forest City, was charged with failure to appear and received a $5,000 secure bond. Ryan Vandergrift, 35-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with failure to appear and received a $1,000 secure bond. Cody Shane Richardson, 28-year-old male, was charged with failure to appear and received a $1,000 secure bond. Ryan Gene Roper, 29-year-old male of Boston, was charged with DWI and exceeding the safe speed and received a $1,000 secure bond. Larry Conley Fenner, 28-year-old male of Lenore, was charged with breaking, entering, and larceny and received a $15,000 secure bond. James Cody Neal, 31-year-old male of Ellenboro, was charged with failure to appear, received a $500 secure bond. Todd McKinley Mann Jr., 24-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with possession of a firearm by felon and received a $10,000 secure bond. Christopher Allen Fletcher Walker, 25-year-old male, was charged with possession of a firearm by felon and also received a $10,000 secure bond. Among our incidents, we had a break-in, entering, and larceny on Dixon Road in Ellenboro. There was 2 5-gallon buckets of paint, a generator valued at $800, and an air compressor valued at $400 that was taken in that incident. This house was being fixed up, and someone busted through the door and took these items. Had a larceny on Island Ford Road in Mooresboro. There was a Husqvarna 440 and a Husqvarna 420 chainsaw, both valued at $400 taken. They also apparently moved a generator. It looked like they were attempting to take it, but it was recovered. We had a larceny of a motor vehicle there at Thomas Jefferson Classical Academy. Somebody stole a big yellow bus. It was a 1997 International valued at $2,500, as well as 6 batteries. The bus was recovered there at the intersection of Oak Street and Hardin Road by Forest City Police Department yesterday. And it looks like it had been taken in less than 24 hours from the time it was recovered. And Jim, that's what we had to report today.
Be hard to hide a yellow school bus, wouldn't it?
I'm glad it's recovered. I was getting worried about that one.
Yeah. Sir, I appreciate the information. Thank you for the report, and you be safe out there and stay cool, and I'll talk to you again real soon.
Thank you, and bye-bye.
Bye.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Here's Stacy now reporting from 911 Communications Center. Stacy, good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Tell us what kind of activity you've had over there.
The past 24 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office and 911 Communications Centers processed 445 911 calls and administrative calls, which consist of 57 EMS calls, 23 for rescue, and law enforcement Sheriff's Office 143, Forest City 78, Reston 38, Glagore 13, Spindale 59. Under fire calls, dispatched Forest City to a vehicle fire and Forest City to a structure fire, and that's all we have.
Thanks, Stacy. You have a good day.
You too, sir.
Bye. Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Come take advantage of the springtime sales event and get the automobile you've been wanting. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City. Here's Ruby Taylor now reporting from Danieltown, the SDO Fire District reporter. Good morning, Ruby.
Good morning.
Tell us all the news from your community.
Well, the fire department didn't have any calls. And on my birthday calendar, I've got Susie Henson having birthday, and Mr. and Ms. Barry Roop is having anniversary. And I hope these people have a nice day. And the signs are in the head today and going to the neck tomorrow. And I have one announcement. Sulphur Springs Baptist Church will be having a Bible school beginning Monday, August the 2nd, going through the 6th, from 6 p.m. until 8:30 p.m. The title of the school is Incredible Race. Supper will be served. All children welcome. And that's all I've got.
Thanks very much, Ruby. You stay cool. Enjoy your day.
You too.
Bye.
Cheryl, I've been talking to Tommy and David, the outside salesmen at Henson Building Materials in Forest City. They're going to help us navigate through our remodeling project.
Well, I know they have tons of experience, so we'll be in good hands.
Good hands is right. Even professional builders shop there because they trust the quality products and service.
And did you know they have a great relationship with our community, too? Oh, they're so nice.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street, Forest City.
Building starts here.
Checking up now to the Fairfield Mountains Fire District and the Bills Creek community, we like to talk with Gary Wilson. He keeps us informed and posted on what's been happening on that part of our county. And we have him on the phone right now. Good morning, Gary. How are you?
I'm getting ready to have about my third cup of coffee. I'm doing pretty good. How you doing, Jim?
I'm working on my third, too, as a matter of fact. I'm glad we're inside in an air-conditioned building, aren't you?
Yes, sir. I'm telling you what, the heat's been on the last couple of days. It's going to be hotter today than it has been the last 2 days.
I think you're right.
I hope they're wrong on that. But it's been plenty hot and humid, but I'll take that over wintertime anytime. I ain't going to complain, but I'm not a winter person.
Really? Well,
get too many aches and pains in the wintertime.
Well, I hear you. I think spring and fall is probably my favorite times too. Summer's too warm and winter's too cold for me.
Yeah. Spring and fall is pretty hard to beat. So we've been quiet overnight here the last couple of days. It's a good thing, and all this heat and humidity and no fire calls or anything. Sitting on about 70 degrees this morning. And one announcement coming up this Saturday beginning at 11 a.m. The fish fry over at Mullen Bible Camp. And that's $13 a plate and all the trimmings and dessert and drink. And if you don't like fish, they'll give you a couple of hot dogs to go with it and some good food while it lasts. And I'd say come early because they have a big crowd come through there. And that's about all we got up here this morning, Jim. Everything's running on pretty quiet. Hope we have a quiet day today in all this heat.
All right, Gary, enjoy that coffee, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, you have a good one.
All right, bye. 7:25, and the Braves had a bad night yesterday. Mets beat them 2-1. They play again today. It's an afternoon game. And then we have a doubleheader Owls game this evening. Baseball's still alive and well. And believe it or not, football season is coming up even in this holiday. It looks like the August 20th will be the open season for high school football in this area. A lot of changes there. A couple of new coaches in the area. We'll see what takes place. Mr. Friday Night, Jay Coombs will be on the helm there to give us that news from that department. You'll find Mr. Friday Night's column in this recent edition of the Foothills Journal, which will be going out in a matter of days. We've got our final copy for approval last night, so once that's approved finally, get back to the printers, and maybe by next week we should have those out, sending out those 20,000 copies. So Mr. Friday Night has a column there to talk about the season of football here in the Foothills. Let's check in now with the Cherry Mountain Fire District. Sue Price, good morning. No, it's Bob Hodge. Bob Hodge, I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
I yelled out there to Todd to see who's up next, and he didn't hear me, I don't think, so my mind ran ahead of me. So Bob Hodge from Hudlow, that's who we're talking to.
Okay, now we got it.
Now we got you, Bob. How you doing?
Yeah, we're doing just fine on this Thursday morning there. Looks like it's going to be another hot day up here today, so.
Yeah, you better stay inside today.
That's right there, but I don't know. Won't be long here. We'll be wanting some of this warm weather again. So,
way time's moving so fast, you're probably right. It'll be turned around 2 or 3 times. It'll be cold weather.
That's right, because this month's just about to run out. If you're going to do anything in July, you better do it, hadn't you?
Seemed like it's been a fast month.
It has, yeah. So Sunday's first day of August. So if we can get through August, we'll get most of this hot weather behind us there then.
Yes.
Well, Jim, up here with the fire department, it's been quiet during the night. We hadn't had any fire call. I want to say happy birthday to Jeffrey McMillan and Reed Melton this morning. And that's about it, Jim, up here. Other than the hot weather, we're doing just fine there.
You got big plans for the day?
Nothing today, I don't reckon. Let's lay around and try to stay cool there.
Yeah, keep that ice water close by. He'll do, Bob. Thanks so much for the report, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, Jim.
All right, bye. Bye-bye.
Another season has come and gone, and you're still looking at that same sad-looking sofa or recliner. Well, now's the time to change the inside of your home to look as pretty as the spring and summer colors outside. And the perfect place to start is the Recliner Center. Right now at the Recliner Center, everything is 20% off. That's 20% off sofas, recliners, sofa recliners. If someone you love is having trouble standing, the Recliner Center has all lift chairs on sale for 10% off. All lift chairs, 10% off. Now, some of these chairs can take you from a standing position, then safely back down to a sitting position with no effort on your part whatsoever. Angela is cleaning out merchandise to make room for more. So now's your chance to redecorate your home and take advantage of the great savings at the Recliner Center. All lift chairs, 10% off. Everything else is 20% off. Angela is seeing folks by appointment only, so call 828-395-3562. Call her today. The Recliner Center. They're on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
Here's Sue Price now from the Cherry Mountain Fire District with our morning report for a Thursday morning. Good morning, Sue.
Good morning, Jim.
Is it warm over in your neighborhood, or you got cool weather?
Well, it's not too bad right now, but it'll get that way, I'm sure. Oh, me. It was hot yesterday.
Yes.
But it's summertime, so we can expect that. Well, let's see, the fire department had one automobile accident. Have nothing on my church calendar today. On my personal calendar, I've got Hester Gurley and Pastor David and Tina Ledford having an anniversary. And, of course, both of those are on Fairview's calendar, so I don't have anything on First Broad, so not too many celebrating, but we hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day. And I don't have any announcements, so it's just a quiet time of year, and we like it that way.
We like it when it's quiet, don't we?
We do, and I enjoyed the music this morning.
Thank you.
Always do. And I guess that's about all I got, Jim. It's quiet and calm, and we're ready to go for the day.
All right, you enjoy it, and be careful over there and get plenty of rest, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. 7:31 on this tremendous Thursday morning, and we continue sweeping around the county to find out where the news is. And I'll be back with the next call right after this. To win in sports, you must adjust your strategy as the game changes. The same is true of investments. Why not let Andrew Tisdale, your Edward Jones financial advisor, help you create a game plan for financial success? Call 828-287-9197 and get started today. That's Andrew Tisdale at Edward Jones Financial Advisor, 828-287-9197.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Now let's head over toward Bostic to the Drop-In Family Mart. Jessica's on the phone to give us an update on breakfast. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. Everybody come on down to the Drop-In Family Market this morning. We have biscuits. We have bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits, sausage biscuits. We have breakfast pizzas. You can get a hunk for $3.19, or you can get 2 hunks for $6.19. We also have a little special going on. It's buy any type of biscuit and get a small hash brown for only 99 cents. Them hash browns are really, really good. All right, people, listen up. So starting the week of August the 2nd through August the 8th, Drop-In will be celebrating their 40th anniversary. So congratulations to the Drop-In for their 40th anniversary. But I just want to go ahead and let everybody know, for their 40th anniversary, we are doing a special back here in the deli on hot dogs. You get a hot dog with just the basics, mayonnaise, mustard, and ketchup for 40 cents a piece.
Wow.
If you get if you want chili, slaw, and onions, it is a little bit extra. But if you just get the basic mayonnaise, mustard, and ketchup, it's 40 cents a hot dog. But that does not start until August the 2nd through August the 8th. But that is a very, very good deal. So everybody come out and support the Drop-In for their 40th anniversary.
Well, that's a good deal.
Yes, sir. Yes, it is. We got our truck yesterday morning, so we got fresh produce, fresh milk, all of the above. We've got, if we for some reason don't have it, just let us know what you're looking for, and maybe we can order it for you. Our hours here at the Drop-In is Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Saturdays is from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. And then Sundays, the deli is closed, but the store is open from 11 to 6. Also, anybody that is looking for a job, please either come by and see me or Audrey, or you can go by the main office and fill your application out. If for some reason we're not hiring anymore, there's probably a few more of the other drop-ins that are hiring. So if you're looking for a job, you do not have to have experience. We can train you. But if you have experience, come down and see us. We are a good team to work for. We all work as a team. So
I can believe that.
I
would like to come to work for you myself.
Well, thank you. I wish you could.
Would you let me fry some bacon or cook some eggs or something if I came?
I would.
Yeah.
I'd even let you make an omelet if you can make one.
I'd love to try. Anything else going on?
That's it for now, but also keep in mind that we do have milkshakes. I know today and tomorrow is going to be two of the hottest days of the summer, so if you're looking for something cold and refreshing, come on down to the drop-in. We have the For Real milkshakes. We have the chocolate, Reese cup, vanilla, cake batter, strawberry mango, all different types of For Reals for $2.99.
All right. I appreciate you being with us.
Alrighty.
Stay cool over there, and I'll see you next time.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Drop-in Family Mart there in Bostic on the Bostic Sunshine Highway, sort of catty corner there from the post office. You can't miss them, and a great place to do your grocery shopping. It's 7:36. Next phone call going up to Shingle Hollow next.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Good morning, Shingle Hollow.
Good morning, Jim Bishop.
How you doing?
I am well. I am expecting the heat and trying to arrange to stay cool.
Our power bills are going to be extremely high this year, aren't they? Run those air conditioners.
They will be. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't like summertime at our house because the power bill goes up.
I'm thankful for them. I'm thankful for air conditioners.
I am too, but that power bill will go up, and it goes up a lot.
Yes.
Anyway, I'm like you. I like spring. I like fall, which I like all the changes. But this heat, there's just something about it. It's too warm.
Well, it's the humidity. If the humidity didn't rise so much, the temperature wouldn't be so bad.
Right. You're right. Well, today is a big day for me because it's my mama's birthday.
All right.
And so wish her a happy birthday. Tiny Knob has David Judy. Pleasant Grove has Miss Dolores Boone. So I hope all these have a great big happy birthday. It's also my great aunt Hester Gurley. It's her birthday, so I hope she has a wonderful birthday too. In the fire departments, Shingle Hollow and Green Hill, were all quiet for the past 24 hours. And Piney Knob Baptist Church still has their Bible school going on this week. They invite anyone. You can still come, even if you haven't been the rest of the week. You can come tonight at 5:30. Tomorrow night at 5:30, they have a meal. Then assembly starts at 6. And it is Destination Dig. Then on Sunday, August 1st through Wednesday, August 4th, Piney Knob has revival going on with Brother Alan Laws bringing the message. And mark your calendars for Sunday, August 22nd. The John Lancaster family will be singing during 6 p.m. service. And Pilgrim Way Baptist Church at 485 Hamilton Road, Rutherfordton, is having revival and Bible school at the same time from Sunday, August 1st through Wednesday, August 4th at 7 p.m. Evangelist Mike Bagwell of Tunnel Hill, Georgia, will be bringing the message, and Bible school will be going on at the same time from birth to 8th grade. And there will be special singing every day. You should be able to find something to do in Shingle Hollow area for the first week of August, that's for sure.
I like to see people busy.
I do too. In a good way.
In a good
Don't
way.
be out there not up to meanness.
That's right.
Not making the police report.
That's right.
Well, that's all I got going on.
All right, Tina, thank you, and you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow.
You too. Stay cool and stay hydrated.
Good point. Good point. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That's the Shingle Hollow report this morning. Now, listen, it is hot, and it's too much trouble sometimes to get out in the heat and go look for gifts. Why don't you just go by Washburn store and tell them, I've got a gift I need to give somebody, and this is what I'd like for you to do. Let them prepare one of those gift baskets for you. They're nice. They really look good and very impressive, and it's different from the same old gift that you might give somebody's birthday or anniversary or just because you appreciate them. Have one of those gift baskets fixed up for you at Washburn store. They do a wonderful job of those. They have so many different variety of things they can put in it, including some of that fresh candy if you like that. So go and talk with them about it or give them a call, let them know what you like, and visit Washburn General Store sometime this year. Matter of fact, how about this month, before this month's over with? It's drawing to a close, but make July your month to visit Washburn General Store between Bostic and Sunshine on the Bostic Sunshine Highway. Now let's head toward Union Mills and get the Kelly report from the top of the hill there. Brenda Kelly, good morning.
Good morning. How are you on this tremendous hot Thursday?
I'm happy as a lark inside this cool building, but thank goodness for air conditioners.
Yeah. I don't have centralized, but I got a window unit in the living room and one in the back of the house, and so it keeps it pretty cool. But I had two on the front porch I hadn't used in a while, and there was a couple of people there. Our conditioners went out, and so little man said, here, come get this one. Then somebody, come get this one. So all my air conditioners are gone.
Well, it was nice of you to share.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't me. It was little man.
Yeah.
But I told him that was all right. It's as hot as it is. You need something, don't you?
Oh, yes. Those funeral fans just won't quite do the job anymore.
I know it. I don't believe it used to get this hot, did it?
Doesn't seem like it did anyway. I don't think the humidity was like it is now.
I think back to when we was growing up, but it might have been, we always played in the creeks and stuff, so I guess we just didn't pay no attention as a child, but it just seems like it gets hotter and hotter.
I can remember going to some of those old country churches, the windows would be raised up, and everybody have a funeral fanning and swatting the flies as the flies come in the windows, and preacher preaching, sweating running down off his chin. and dinner on the ground and somebody trying to keep the flies off of it. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I remember those days. Well, let's see. I've got 64 degrees on the front porch. I don't have any birthdays or any anniversaries in ways of announcements. Saturday, July the 31st, Vacation Bible School starts at 9 a.m. and goes to 2. This is at Far City Church of the Nazarene. And then on Saturday, July the 31st, from 9:30 a.m. to 3 p.m., Corinth Baptist Church Vacation Bible School, ages 3 through the 6th grade. This is at 767 Pinehurst Road, Ellenburg. And then on Saturday, July the 31st, we're going to have a memorial service for Johnny Bolton at the First Baptist Church on Main Street in Ruffin. It starts at 11 a.m. Then on August the 6th, Carly Airwood Band, 7 p.m., Union Mills Learning Center. Saturday, August the 7th, ASI Alumni Reunion starts at 10 a.m., annual meeting at 3 p.m. Sunday, August the 8th, ASI luncheon available for the cost of the meal. Reverend John Cope will lead service, and all alumni events will be held at the Union Mills Learning Center. And so far, that's all I got going on. So.
All right, that's a lot. So we'll let you take a break now, and you can go rest.
I'm going to go pick some beans.
All right.
While it's cool.
You had a pretty good crop of green beans this year?
Well, I didn't. The rabbits always eat ours, but my sister does.
Okay. You get any Crowder peas?
No. She planted them one year, and she likes them, but she said, Lord, they just tuck over, and then the next year they come right back up from where the peas had dried and went in the ground, but she ain't got none this year.
Well, nothing like fresh green beans.
And or anything fresh out of the garden.
Fresh tomatoes.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, you better go check on Luther Sweet Thing Gilligan in Ellenburg, and we'll catch you another time.
You be careful in the heat, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Catch you later.
Bye. Imagine being surrounded by comfort. At Immaculate Heating and Air Conditioning, they offer ultimate home comfort by Coleman. They will install a Coleman high-efficiency heating and cooling system and handle any service and maintenance, all for one low monthly payment with zero out-of-pocket costs for 10 years. That's right, 10 years with no service or repair fees, no maintenance fees, no unexpected cost at all. Ultimate home comfort. It's more comfort all around. Contact Nathan Blackburn at 828-755-5788. That's 755-5788, or visit ImmaculateHeatingandAir.com. And we're heading next over toward Ellenboro. See if Luther Gilligan is available to give us a report from the streets of Laredo. Not really, Ellenboro, I guess we should say. Good morning, Luther Gilligan.
Good morning, you two. Nice day down here. You should be here.
I wish I was there.
It'll be a good time. Coffee's good. Conversation's good. Sun's coming up. We're going to have a good time today. But it's quiet there. Not a whole lot going to see. First, they had one medical call yesterday. But down last night to Sis Cleveland County on Strictest part, but it got canceled. They got took off, so they just turn around and come back. And they were quiet rest of the night. Quiet this morning. Not a whole lot going on. People just getting the gas for breakfast, heading on out to work. So you have a great day up there, and we'll see what happens today. We'll tell you about it tomorrow.
Be careful in the heat, and I will see you tomorrow.
All right, take care.
All right, bye. That's the report from Thursday morning's roundup. It's time now for birthdays and anniversaries. This is the 29th day of July, 29th of July. If you're celebrating a birthday, call us and let us know that. We'll give you a big shout-out. Birthdays and anniversaries at 287-3356, 287-3356 for birthdays and anniversaries coming up next.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Well, it's too hot to cook, so why not let Granny B's do that cooking for you and order one of those big Granny B's pizza combos for tonight. Yeah, Granny B's pizza combos are absolutely delicious. You can choose from 13 different combinations. Call 286-9012 and order your pizza, and you'll never go back to the others once you've had the Granny B's combo pizza. And sure, it'll be okay to save a little room for one of Granny B's Daylight Donuts. Let somebody else do the cooking for you. Call Granny B's and enjoy your subs or your pizza. Happy birthday. Lily Self over in Ellenboro is having a birthday today. Connie Gilbert celebrating, and Cheryl Stott also having a birthday today. So happy birthday to these fine folks. Thanks for letting us share your birthday. Now stand by. Keys to Confident Living coming up next.
A father took his 6-year-old son fishing out on the lake. The dad wanted this to be one of those great days for bonding and memories. He made sure that he had all the right equipment so there would be no excuse for a bad day. The father and son got out of the car, trekked down across the beach and out to the boat. They fished all morning and at noon went back to shore. They tied up the boat and trekked back up the beach. During the lunch, the father wanted to find out what had impressed his young son the most about the outing. Was it all the gear they had to work with? Was it the nice boat? Was it the large number of fish they caught? These things were all nice, but they were not the things that impressed the boy. The father asked, "Well, what was it that made the biggest impression on you and you enjoyed the most?" The young child said, "I liked it best when I tried to walk in your footprints across the sand." Something the father hadn't even noticed became for the son the most meaningful part of the entire outing. Furthermore, it was a son trying to be like his dad that may have been the greatest lesson learned that day. Our children develop attitudes and patterns of behavior like us when we aren't even aware of it. In fact, our times of greatest teaching may be when we are observed just going about our daily insignificant tasks and not the times that we intentionally attempt something meaningful. This is Bill Hostler with today's key to confident living.
This is WCAB Rutherfordton, 590 AM and now on FM at 100.
high or substantial spread, and regular testing. The federal government is the nation's largest employer, 2.1 million workers across the nation. The president will also address the new mask guidance from the CDC, which he calls another step on our journey to defeating this virus. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
A week after the start of the Olympic Games, COVID cases are up across Japan as well. They have seen more than 160% increase since the opening ceremony. ABC's James Longman is there.
U.S. pole vaulter Sam Kendricks has tested positive for COVID-19, and that's put him out of the competition. He is the 7th U.S. athlete for whom that is now the case. All his close contacts will also now be tested, and they'll have to self-isolate, possibly.
After weeks of talks, it appears there is a deal on infrastructure in the Senate. Democratic leader Chuck Schumer.
The Senate has just come together and in a strong bipartisan fashion voted to begin the legislative process here on the Senate floor.
Now, getting a deal on child care and education may be tougher. Wyoming Republican Senator John Barrasso calling that one a, quote, freight train to socialism.
This tax and spending spree is utterly reckless. Not one Republican will vote for this bill.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken asked in Kuwait during talks today about whether the U.S. will allow special immigration visas for those who assisted U.S. forces in Afghanistan when American troops pull out.
We are talking to a number of countries about the possibility of temporarily relocating these applicants as the process is complete. It takes some time.
You're listening to ABC News.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
One airman has been killed, 3 more hurt in an accident at Kessel Air Force Base in Biloxi, Mississippi. No word yet on the exact nature of the accident. Another company warning about price hikes ahead of the holidays. Toy giant Mattel, maker of things like Barbie dolls and Hot Wheels, says it will have to raise prices before the holiday shopping season hits, the blame going to rising costs for raw materials, labor, and shipping. A test launch set for tomorrow of a spacecraft that could soon be used to send astronauts back to the moon. ABC's Tony Marino has more from Orlando.
United Launch Alliance is set to launch its Atlas V rocket with Boeing's CST-100 Starliner spacecraft on top of it to the International Space Station. The test, which was postponed in 2020 due to the pandemic, will be the second uncrewed test. The first run failed in 2019 due to software issues. The launch is set for 2:53 Friday afternoon from the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. Tony Marino, ABC News, Orlando.
And we're saying goodbye to an icon of infomercials.
After 7 years of advertising my Ronco electric food dehydrator and beef jerky machine, I've decided to drop the price.
Ron Popeil, who came up with and then marketed products like the Veg-O-Matic, the Pocket Fisherman, and the Showtime Rotisserie Oven, passed away at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles. He was 86 years old. This is ABC News.
Your nose is the body's air filter, the first line of defense against airborne allergens, bacteria, and viruses. You wash your hands to protect your health. Now you can clean your nose with Navage. Online at Navage.com. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
The morning rush can be a beautiful thing. With the right granola bar, that is. Take a moment and take in the outdoors with Nature Valley Crunchy Bars.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. For today, we'll see a partly cloudy sky. Could see a stray shower this afternoon, though most areas will stay dry. What we'll see is the heat again today, with highs in the low to mid-90s. Heat index values will range from 100 to 105 degrees this afternoon. Could see a stray shower this evening, then dry Friday morning. A few more showers and storms are possible Friday afternoon, with temperatures hot again, cooler but wetter for the weekend. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Sunny skies. Is a beautiful, great getting up morning here in the foothills, and right now we're reading 70 on our thermometer, according to Peter, the meter reader. Warming up to 97 with the heat index closer to 100 above. So please be aware of that and don't overdo it outside today. 8:05. We got a lot to pack in these next few minutes. 9:05 this morning. My Great America with Jim and Butch, with special guests scheduled to be with us also on the program. This program, we've added a program on Saturdays and early Sunday morning, but particularly Saturdays, you'll be appreciative of this. Join us on Saturday as we bring you the Dr. Bob Martin Show. Dr. Bob Martin is the largest syndicated health show on the radio today. The program includes breaking health news and special features, such as the health alternative and outrage. Listeners will learn about nutrition, diet, exercise, vitamins, herbal supplements, healthy lifestyle, mind-body medicine, and other healing techniques. Health info that will encourage the motivation, confidence, and conviction that you need to heal your own body of any ailment. From headaches to hemorrhoids, aches to shakes, pimples to prostrate, bad back to bad BO, and everything in between. Join us for Dr. Bob Martin, Saturday mornings, 9:05, and then again on Sunday morning at 5 a.m. Dr. Bob Martin. Interesting program. I think you will enjoy hearing as you get your day started on Saturday morning. Now some stories from here and there. Authorities are seeking the public's help in locating a man wanted for murder in Rutherford County. Warrants have been issued on Andrew Franklin Hodge for murder and shooting into an occupied dwelling. On Tuesday, July 27th, a deputy with the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office responded to 150 Candy Turf in Forest City in reference to a shooting. When deputies arrived, they found Thomas Liebel, 33, dead from a gunshot wound. Detectives with the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office responded and began an investigation. After further investigation and in consultation with the Rutherford County District Attorney's Office, the warrants for Hodge were issued. The Sheriff's Office is asking anyone with information on the whereabouts of Andrew Franklin Hodge to contact the Sheriff's Office at 286-2911. I'll call the Rutherford County Crime Stoppers number at 286-TIPS and give them information that you have. You never know. It could be a benefit. And you never have to identify yourself on that TIPS line. Well, congratulations to Isothermal Community College. They're one of 10 colleges and universities to receive a Duke Energy Foundation grant. ICC was awarded $30,000 toward its electronics engineering technology. Duke Energy has awarded $615,000 in grants to 19 workforce development and education programs in North Carolina to help job seekers and students prepare for employment, particularly in the energy sector. The grants support innovative workforce education and training initiatives at community colleges, historically black colleges, universities, and nonprofits across the state. ICC will use the grant toward its electronics engineering technology. Well, you've been hearing it all over the news, national news, state news. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention changed courses Tuesday on some masking guidelines, recommending that even vaccinated people return to wearing masks indoors in parts of the U.S. where the Delta variant of the coronavirus is fueling infectious surges. Citing new information about the variant's ability to spread among vaccinated people, the CDC also recommended indoor masks for all teachers, staff, students, and visitors at schools nationwide, regardless of vaccination status. In other developments, President Biden said his administration was considering requiring all federal workers to get vaccinated. His comments came a day after the Department of Veterans Affairs became the first federal agency to require its health care workers receive the vaccine. Biden dismissed concerns that the new masking guidance could invite confusion, saying Americans who remain unvaccinated are the ones who are sowing enormous confusion, end quote. The more we learn about this virus and the Delta variation, the more we have to be worried and concerned, and there's only one thing we know for sure. if those other 100 million people get vaccinated, if those 100 million people got vaccinated, we'd be in a very different world, the president said. Well, the White House quickly pivoted on its own masking guidance, asking all staff and reporters to wear masks indoors because the latest CDC data shows that Washington faces a substantial level of coronavirus transmission. The CDC's new mask policy follows recent decisions in Los Angeles and St. Louis to revert to indoor mask mandates and the spike in COVID-19 infections. The nation is averaging more than 57,000 cases a day and 24,000 COVID-19 hospitalizations. So they're still confused on that. They say the vaccine is not necessarily going to affect this new infectious disease that's coming. Reminds me, they used to encourage the flu shots, and I know it's important to do that. But people take the flu shot, and then you get the flu, and they say, "Oh, that's a different flu strand than what the vaccine was for." So I don't know, folks. Meanwhile, locally again, the Daily Courier is reporting, and I concur, Hands of Hope, the Crisis Pregnancy Center, is on the verge of receiving a very generous gift. An anonymous donor has agreed to fund up to $40,000 the purchase of an ultrasound equipment. But in order to receive that donation, Hands of Hope must have in place a physician serving as its official medical director. They do not have that just yet. Paula Rogalski, executive director of Hands of Hope, said, "We only get the donation if we gain a one-year commitment from a North Carolina licensed physician to oversee the clinical services of our local pregnancy center." Well, Hands of Hope has been without a medical director for close to 2 years. The last to serve in the position was the late Dr. Robin Pendleton. This is a volunteer position. Much of the work can be done remotely. The ultrasound photos can be securely sent to the computer through email. They can examine the photos from their home office. Without a medical director, we can't diagnose, Rogalski said. We give women a self-administered pregnancy test to confirm pregnancy. The ultrasound procedures are typically performed by a registered nurse or a certified ultrasound technician. However, there must be a doctor under whom they are working. So, any doctors that might be listening would like to volunteer your services for this Hands of Hope, please contact them. They could sure use your authority. Women who see their baby via ultrasound choose life 50% of the time. As access to ultrasound is needed for good prenatal help, so they can't get the grant for the ultrasound unless they have a doctor under which it is he or she supervises. So contact Hands of Hope and put those medical skills to good use outside your profession of paid profession. Well, you're hearing all the time we are about the COVID, the uprising of the new variant, wearing masks again, or should we not wear masks again, all those kind of things. But the dates of this year's Mountain State Fair have been announced. The fair is back for 10 days of full steam fun, said the fair manager, Matt Buchanan. Competition are a popular attraction with fairgoers, and this year's fair will include both new competitions and plenty of returning favorites, showcasing the talents and skills of a lot of your favorites. The fair was canceled last year due to the COVID-19 pandemic. North Carolina Agriculture Commissioner Steve Troxler is encouraging everyone to get vaccinated. We're glad to bring the North Carolina Mountain State Fair back this year and happy for the opportunity to have such a wide range of competitions and contests, said Troxler in a press release. The experience our youth receive from competing at the fair will benefit them for their entire lives. So they're planning on bringing the Mountain State Fair back. And I think I heard somebody say they're going to do the Colfax Free Fair over in Ellenboro again this year. We'll learn more about that as time gets closer in. Well, the CDC is now recommending that vaccinated people wear masks indoors, and part of the U.S. COVID-19 cases are surging. It is also recommending indoor masks for all teachers, staff, students, and visitors to schools, regardless of vaccination status. Well, the news comes just as the school mask mandates in North Carolina is about to be lifted. Governor Roy Cooper announced that requirement will end on July 30th, but the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services is still strongly urging schools to require masks for kids in grades K through 8. People under 12 years old are not eligible for a COVID-19 shot yet in the U.S. Governor is probably going to change his mind and require that again. I hope not. Kids don't need to be going to school and sitting in class all those hours with a mask on their face. Only time they get to take them down is when they go to lunch. I'm not sure that's a healthy process either. 8:15, we'll have the Sheriff's Report with Sheriff Francis coming up here in just a moment.
Enjoying music, hanging out with friends, church picnics, fishing, and playing in the creeks and streams of our beautiful mountains. This is summer in western North Carolina. Getting vaccinated brings us one step closer to enjoying all of that and more. In fact, it's our best shot at getting back to normal. Let's give it a shot, WNC, and bring back summer together. Get vaccinated today. Visit myspot.nc.gov to find your best shot. That's myspot.nc.gov.
Smith's Drugs of Forest City is taking appointment times for the COVID-19 vaccination. There are two ways to schedule an appointment. First, go to our website at www.smithsdrugsfc.com and click on the COVID-19 vaccination tab. Then fill out the consent form, choose your group, and at that time you'll be able to choose an available appointment time. Second, you can just call our pharmacy to schedule an appointment time and we can help you fill out the consent form over the phone. We also at times do have some vaccines available later in the evening, and these are posted on Facebook when we do. If you have any questions or concern, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
Well, you've been hearing, I guess, if you watch any television at all or read anything, you've been hearing about the January 6th hearing that's taking place in Washington with the those appointed by Nancy Pelosi, all liberal Democrats or liberal Republicans. She would not accept the appointments made by the Republican House Speaker, the Republican Minority Leader. So it's all her people that's hearing these folks. And they had a hearing starting, I think, was it Monday maybe? Well, surprise. Capitol officer on that panel, Officer Harry Dunn, delivers his opening statement July 27th before the House committee created to investigate the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. It's been revealed now he is a member of the BLM activist group, Black Lives Matter group. Testimony from several Capitol police officers who appeared before House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's one-sided committee reviewing violence at the building on January 6th actually prompted several lawmakers to tear up. Adam Schiff, whose fame is linked to his dedication to the now-debunked narrative created by Democrats in 2016 to hurt Donald Trump by alleging that the Republicans' campaign colluded with Russia, stopped his comments to compose himself. He teared up. And Adam Kissinger was one of the two Republicans who have aligned themselves with Democrats' agenda, point to the committee whose numbers all were picked by Pelosi, did similar. He teared up. Some of the comments were from Capitol Officer Harry Dunn, who talked about his recollection of being called a racial epithet when he emerged in conversation with writers, telling them that he had voted for Joe Biden. Dunn revealed he got no warning of any threats from his chain of command that day, even though President Trump had offered additional security, an offer declined by congressional leaders. You know what I'm saying? President Trump offered additional security, and congressional leaders declined it. A report in The Hill revealed Dunn's testimony that Trump supporters had been on the scene before, but never before was there the attempt to overthrow democracy. But after his appearance, a reporter in the Gateway Pundit explains the likely reason Dunn was asked to testify in the hearing that has been described by analysts as a Democrat attempt to perpetuate the controversy over January 6th since they have so few accomplishments on which to base any 2022 campaigns. They've done nothing but try to impeach the president again after he's out of office and trying to blame him for the January 6th when we know by evidence that it was infiltrated by Antifa. The report states, surprise, Officer Dunn, who testified that Trump supporters on January 6th were chanting the N-word, is huge. He's a huge BLM activist, supported mass violence in Kenosha riots. They do this as January 6th political prisoners are abused and languish in isolation just miles from the U.S. Capitol in Washington. It cited his claim to having been called the N-word during the riot. Of course, this didn't happen or would have heard about it by now. But Officer Dunn knows he can say this because the mainstream fake news media will never ask him to prove it. Attached was social media statements supporting a higher level of concern over his neutrality on the issue. So there you go. You think that's one-sided, or is Nancy Pelosi being fair and square with everybody? Duh.
Saving money is easy when you shop at Jay's Discount Grocery. From snack foods to vegetables, fresh fruits to fresh cut meats, paper products, cleaning supplies, dog food, and so much more. You know, you just never know what you'll find at Jay's. So shop and save today. They're located at 671 Oak Street in Forest City, right beside the Hospice Resale Store. You know, when you shop at Jay's, you always walk out with money left over in your pocket.
Thank you, Lou. Now here is Sheriff Chris Francis with a report we aired earlier, recorded it for broadcast for you to hear at this point in time.
In the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has responded to 143 calls to service. There have been 16 arrests processed in county jail, currently incarcerated at 188. Among those arrested, Antonio Dupree Jefferson, 31-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with violation of a release order, received a $2,000 secure bond. Charles Travis Stewart Sr., 51-year-old male of Ellenboro, was charged with failure to register as a sex offender, received a $10,000 secure bond. Jimmy Brandon Bumgarner, 39-year-old male of Rutherford, was charged with cyber stalking, received a $10,000 unsecured bond. Dakota Graham Jenkins, 22-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with failure to appear, received a $12,000 secured bond. Victor Hugo Fabian, 25-year-old male of Union Mills, was charged with assault on a female and communicating threats, received a district court judge for bond. Kristen Michaela Brummett, 21-year-old female of Forest City, was charged with failure to appear and received a $5,000 secured bond. Ryan Vandergrift, 35-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with failure to appear and received a $1,000 secure bond. Cody Shane Richardson, 28-year-old male, was charged with failure to appear and received a $1,000 secure bond. Ryan Gene Roper, 29-year-old male of Boston, was charged with DWI and exceeding the safe speed and received a $1,000 secure bond. Larry Conley Finner, 28-year-old male of Lenore, was charged with breaking and entering and larceny and received a $15,000 secure bond. James Cody Neal, 31-year-old male of Ellenboro, was charged with failure to appear, received a $500 secure bond. Todd McKinley Mann Jr., 24-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with possession of a firearm by felon and received a $10,000 secure bond. Christopher Allen Fletcher Walker, 25-year-old male, was charged with possession of a firearm by felon and also received a $10,000 secure bond. Among our incidents, we had a break-in, entering, and larceny on Dixon Road in Ellenboro. There was 2 5-gallon buckets of paint, a generator valued at $800, and an air compressor valued at $400 that was taken in that incident. This house was being fixed up, and someone busted through the door and took these items. Had a larceny on Island Ford Road in Mooresboro. There was a Husqvarna 440 and a Husqvarna 420 chainsaw, both valued at $400 taken. They also apparently moved a generator. It looked like they were attempting to take it, but it was recovered. We had a larceny of a motor vehicle there at Thomas Jefferson Classical Academy. Somebody stole a big yellow bus. It was a 1997 International valued at $2,500. As well as 6 batteries. The bus was recovered there at the intersection of Oak Street and Hardin Road by Forest City Police Department yesterday. And it looks like it had been taken in less than 24 hours from the time it was recovered. And, Jim, that's what we had to report today.
NCN Sports. Good morning. I'm Tony Rixby. The Carolina Hurricanes signed defenseman Tony DeAngelo to a $1 million contract yesterday following his tumultuous exit from the New York Rangers, who sent him home after an undisclosed incident last year. Canes general manager Don Waddell.
There's no doubt that he has made mistakes. We acknowledge that. And more importantly, he recognizes that he's made mistakes, and he knows he's got to continue to work and grow as a person.
Duke women's basketball coach Kara Lawson leading the U.S. to the gold medal in the 3-on-3 women's basketball competition at the Olympics.
Stylistically, every team is really different, and that might be true of every tournament, but you don't normally have to play multiple games in a day, 5 days in a row, and constantly having to change how you're going to play.
Another Major League Baseball cancellation due to COVID.
I'm Tom Foti. As of now, the Washington Nationals and the Philadelphia Phillies are scheduled to play a Thursday afternoon doubleheader. That follows a sudden COVID-related cancellation Wednesday night, the 9th virus-scrubbed game of the MLB season. A day after star Nats shortstop Trey Turner was removed in the first inning of the Tuesday night game in Philadelphia, the Nationals announced that 4 players, including Turner and 8 team staffers, have tested positive for the coronavirus. Nats manager Davey Martinez says all but one had been vaccinated with either slight symptoms or none. Tom Foti, CBS News, Washington.
The squabble between the Packers and quarterback Aaron Rodgers almost led the 2020 MVP to retire in the offseason.
There were obviously some developments in the last week or so, but I was really working on myself and my own mental state throughout the summer, and at various points deciding if I wanted to even keep playing. But the fire still burns, and I wanted to be on a football team.
You're listening to NCN Sports.
It's upsetting to see our country's aging water systems, electric grid, pipelines, roads, and bridges all breaking down. Our energy and telecom networks under attack from foreign enemies. It's time to protect what makes America great by investing in our infrastructure. It's time to invest in us. Upgrading and repairing our infrastructure is good common sense. It's saying so long to potholes and blackouts, and hello to cleaner air and water, and lower prices, greater economic freedom, stronger national security, and a healthier environment. That's good for our families, good for America, and good for our future. Contact Senators Richard Burr and Tom Tillis. Urge them to vote for the Senate infrastructure plan that focuses on rebuilding America and invests in North Carolina. Tell Senators Burr and Tillis it's time to invest in us. Learn more at let'sinvestinus.com. Paid for by Citizens for Responsible Energy Solutions.
Now to the 2020 Olympic Games in Tokyo. Correspondent Steve Furterman at the Aquatic Center with an update on the swimming competition.
The U.S. continues to cash in here at the Aquatic Center. The U.S. has now won 21 medals here. 6 of them have been gold. The 2 latest golds coming in the men's 100-meter freestyle. That gold goes to Caleb Dressel, and Bobby Fink wins gold in the men's 800-meter freestyle. So the U.S., as expected, is dominating here in swimming. Steve Futterman, CBS News at the Aquatic Center in Tokyo.
Big 12 Commissioner Bob Bowlesby accusing ESPN of encouraging other conferences to pick apart the league so Texas and Oklahoma can move to the Southeastern Conference. The Big 12 sent a cease and desist letter to ESPN. Tony Rixby, NCN Sports.
Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. For today, we'll see a partly cloudy sky. Could see a stray shower this afternoon, though most areas will stay dry. What we'll see is the heat again today, with highs in the low to mid-90s. Heat index values will range from 100 to 105 degrees this afternoon. Could see a stray shower this evening, then dry Friday morning. A few more showers and storms are possible Friday afternoon, with temperatures hot again, cooler but wetter for the weekend. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Currently 72 degrees, warming up today to about 97 around here with heat index over 100. So please be careful out there in that hot weather and drink a lot of fluids and stay hydrated. It's time now for us to go to the stack over here, stack deck, stuff over here. Stack deck, deck. got a stack of stuff here and talk to you about, let you know on something. We got My Great America with Jim and Butch at 9:05 this morning with special guest Senator Ted Alexander from over in Cleveland County. But the state has confirmed our state has confirmed, not our state, a state has confirmed nearly 5,200 that they've gotten COVID after vaccine. 80 are dead. Officials in Massachusetts have confirmed that nearly 5,200 people have come down with COVID after being vaccinated, and so far 80 of those victims are dead. NBC Boston reported the State Department of Public Health reported on the case numbers as the Delta variant makes inroads into the state. The broadcaster said those breakthrough cases where fully vaccinated individuals test positive for coronavirus have been rare so far. As of July 17th, a total of 5,166 breakthrough cases had been reported to the state DPH. Of those, 272 people were hospitalized and survived. Of the 80 people who died, 23 died without being hospitalized. 57 died following a hospital stay. It continued to advocate for vaccinations, reporting, quote, health officials insist vaccine confidence should not be shaken and say these numbers should be put into proper perspective, end quote. What hasn't changed is that the vaccine is preventing severe disease and death, according to Dr. Shara Doran, says since people have started rolling up their sleeve for COVID vaccine, the Boston Hospital has only seen 2 patients hospitalized for COVID-19, and those who were fully vaccinated, neither died. Michael Curry, the Massachusetts League of Community Health Centers, said, we need businesses to urge people to get vaccinated. I think businesses have to make a judgment call and decide where necessary to have a mask on when people come in. I know we're not in a state of emergency where we once were, but we may need to go back to those strategies. Quite frankly, it saves lives, end quote. Not my words, their words up in Massachusetts. It's puzzling to me why there's so many differences of opinion from the medical profession in terms of this whole thing. Some medical professions who are authorities on communicable diseases say one thing, another group say another thing. One group says we should mask, another group of medical professionals say we shouldn't mask. It's puzzling to me why there's so much misunderstanding about it that we can't move on with our lives and do what's best for everybody. Meanwhile, enough about that. Are you tired of hearing about it? I know I am, but anyway. Nancy Pelosi, as you know who that is, right? You've heard her name mentioned before, Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House, real nice, sweet, charming lady. Well, she has often said that she is very much in favor of killing babies in mother's womb. That is, it's almost like a godlike thing for her. Well, Pelosi's Archbishop, she's Roman Catholic. She's from San Francisco. Her Archbishop, Salvatore Corleone, whose archdiocese includes all of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's congressional district, issued a statement on Thursday rebuking Pelosi for a statement she made at her press briefing that day, explaining why she is pushing for federal funding of abortions. At her briefing, many of them may recall, Pelosi had an exchange with a reporter about the Labor, Health, and Human Services, Education, and Related Agencies. That would be LHHER. The appropriations bill for fiscal 2022 that is moving through the House, and that, as the Appropriations Committee puts it, includes repealing the Discriminatory Hyde Act. The Hyde Amendment, as you recall, is language that has long been included in annual federal appropriations laws to prohibited federal funding of abortion except in cases of rape, incest, or when the life of the mother is at risk, which is rare. In explaining why she wants to repeal the Hyde Amendment and thus allow federal funding of abortions, Pelosi told the reporter that she is a devout Catholic. As a devout Catholic and mother of 5 in 6 years, I feel that God blessed my husband and me with our beautiful family, 5 children in 6 years, almost to the day. But it's not up to me to dictate that which other people should do, Pelosi said, and it's an issue of fairness and justice for poor women in our country. Later that day, Archbishop Cordoleone put out a statement. It was headlined, Statement of San Francisco Archbishop Salvatore J. Cordoleone in response to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi defending efforts to permit federal funding of elective abortions. She's wanting taxpayers to pay for abortions, elective abortions, when any time in the mother's womb, all the way up to birth, if necessary. And she wants the taxpayers to pay for it. Why do we not pay for heart surgery? Why do taxpayers not pay for heart surgery? Why do we not pay for cancer surgery? Why do we not pay for replacing new knees and elbows and things like that? Why do we not pay for any hospital stay or any medical? Why do taxpayers not pay for? That's socialism, isn't it? But she and the liberal Democrats in the House and some in the Senate think you and me as taxpayers should pay for women to have abortions. We don't pay for them to have the baby, do we? They want to have the baby and pull it. We don't go, well, let us pay for that baby. Let us pay for that baby. But yet she wants us to pay for having it killed. Does that make sense to you folks? It doesn't make sense to me at all. Anyway, the Archbishop Cordoleone put a statement. It was headlined Statement of San Francisco Archbishop Salvatore J. Cordoleone in response to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi defending efforts to permit federal funding of elective abortions. The Archbishop said, quote, "Let me repeat, no one can claim to be a devout Catholic and condone the killing of innocent human life, let alone have the government pay for it," end quote. Boy, that'll preach, won't it? Woo. Let me repeat, no one can claim to be a devout Catholic and condone the killing of innocent human life, let alone have the government pay for it. That's the Archbishop in the Archdiocese of which Nancy Pelosi lives. He goes on to say, the right to life is the most fundamental right, human right, and Catholics do not oppose fundamental human rights, he said. To use the smokescreen of abortion as an issue of health and fairness to poor women is the epitome of hypocrisy. What about the health of the baby being killed? He goes on to say, what about giving poor women real choice so they are supported in choosing life? He goes on to quote, this would give them fairness and equality to women of means who can afford to bring a child into the world. It is people of faith who run pro-life crisis pregnancy clinics. They're the only ones who provide poor women life-giving alternatives to having their babies killed in the wombs. I cannot be prouder of my fellow Catholics who are so prominent in providing this vital service. To them I say, you are the ones worthy to call yourselves devout Catholics. This man I like. This man I like. He understands the Scriptures. He understands that it's God's child that's inside the mother's womb. These clinics like Hands of Hope that help mothers decide what's best for them in terms of helping bring that baby to life, taxpayers don't pay for those kind of sessions. They don't pay for the staff and people who run those things. They have to scrape for money. They have to have fundraisers. They have to find somebody to give them a grant. But here, the Speaker of the House, along with her many cohorts, want the taxpayers to send billions and billions of dollars over these Planned Parenthood centers in order for them to kill babies. Something wrong with that picture, folks. Something wrong with that picture. Are they that blind that they think American people is going to continue to follow that line of thinking? That it's okay for women to kill their babies, and if they decide to, that you and I ought to pay for it. Oh yeah, I'll send you some money, so go kill that baby in your mother's womb. Does that make sense to you? Am I crazy to be talking this way? I don't think so. Maybe I am. Maybe I've had too much coffee this morning. I don't think so, but maybe. I feel very strongly about that, though. I feel very strongly about killing babies. And particularly people who encourage it and tell us they're devout Catholics, so they therefore believe that they ought to kill babies in the mother's womb. But this Archbishop, he nailed it, boy. He nailed it. It is the people of faith who run pro-life crisis pregnancies clinics. They're the only ones who provide poor women life-giving alternatives to having their babies killed in the wombs. He says, I cannot be prouder of my fellow Catholics who are so prominent in providing this vital service. To them I say, you are the ones worthy to call yourselves devout Catholics. Hear, hear. Well, here's an ex-Obama doctor. He was a doctor under Obama, former White House physician. He predicts that Joe Biden will resign or face 25th Amendment. He says, this is the doctor said, a national security issue at this point. Former White House physician Ronnie Jackson, who served in the role under both Presidents Obama and Trump, told Fox News on Thursday night that he believes that President Joe Biden will be forced to resign or will face the 25th Amendment over issues related to his fitness for office. Jackson, who now represents Texas' 13th Congressional District, told Fox News that he has been saying for a while that something's going on here. And I've been saying that it's only going to get worse, and guess what? We're watching that happen right before our eyes right now, Dr. Jackson said. And I'm at the point right now where, I went from, telling people we should be concerned about what might potentially be going on to now saying, hey, what is happening right now? We're the people in our academic medicine that were out there calling for President Trump to have a cognitive test. We're these people, Dr. Jackson said. There's something seriously going on with this man right now. And, I think that he's either going to resign or they're going to convince him to resign from office at some point in the near future for medical issues, or they're going to have to use the 25th Amendment to get rid of this man right now. There's some serious stuff going on with this president right now. Jackson said that members of Biden's cabinet are likely looking at Biden and wondering if he's able to effectively carry out his duties as President of the United States, Dr. Jackson said, added that this is a national security issue at this point. It really is. Jackson later posted the video clip of the segment to Twitter, writing something seriously wrong with Biden. It's only going to get worse. It's past the point of embarrassment. He's lost. He's confused. He can barely put a coherent statement together. He must have a cognitive exam and release the results. It's Dr. Jackson, former Surgeon General of the United States of America. Surgeon General under Obama, and under Trump. You've seen it, folks. If you've watched any of the clips, you've seen it. It's 8:48.
It's our 30th anniversary, but you get the gifts. That's right, Carolina West Wireless is celebrating our anniversary and celebrating you in a big way with incredible savings, like $350 off a new iPhone 12 or a $150 credit when you bring in your own device. And as our special gift to you, get an additional $30 off any other device promo in our store. Stop by today and let's celebrate our 30th anniversary together. Carolina West Wireless, celebrating 30, celebrating you. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details or visit carolinawest.com/terms and conditions.
There are plenty of drugstores in Rutherford County, but not all of them offer the same personal customer service that is offered at the Medicine Box of Rutherfordton. Laura Hodge and her team have trusted experience and professional service. You're not just a number to them, you're a friend. Make the Medicine Box of Rutherfordton your hometown drugstore at 200 Charlotte Road in Rutherfordton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 1, 287-7117.
My Great America with Jim and Butch in 9:05 this morning with special guests on the program. Hope you'll hang around and enjoy that. Senator Ted Alexander will be our guest today. Well, a large majority of Americans, even a significant number of Democrats, believe Kamala Harris is simply not ready to fill the office of president. Have you recognized that in the news? Well, the polls results from Convention of States action, which worked with the Trafalgar Group, found 63.6% of American voters are not very confident or not confident at all of her qualifications based on her performance or lack thereof, as vice president. President Biden has given her a long list of projects on which to work, including the southern border crisis and getting the Democrats' voting wish list through Congress, but she's failed to produce any significant results at that. The poll showed only 31.6% of American voters, largely Democrats, are somewhat confident or very confident she is ready, 31%. The negative opinion of her included 42.6% of Democrats voters who are not very confident or not confident at all that she's ready to be president. The poll from July 12th through 13th included more than 1,000 likely 2022 election voters. Mark Meckler, president of Convention of States Action, said, "Our last poll found that most Americans don't believe Joe Biden is actually running the country. And today we're learning voters think Kamala Harris' tenure as vice president has been a disaster, and she's absolutely not ready to step in and take this place." Washington, D.C. has never been more radically out of step with the will of the American people than right now. Our message to America is this: Washington doesn't care what you think. Get the attention of those who do. Make sure your governor, state representative, and local elected officials know where you stand. They can actually deliver for you and will pay attention to your priorities. They know what they're doing, folks. They're playing on the weakness of America who don't know what's going on. The poll showed nearly 2 of 3 independents, 61.8%, are not very confident or not confident at all of her preparedness, and among Republicans is almost unanimous, with 88.4% putting Harris in that unqualified category. Harris got her strongest support from the 18 to 24 age bracket, but even there, 63.3% said they were not confident at all. It was a longtime political observer and commentator Pat Buchanan who only days earlier pointed out how the Biden president is hitting failure after failure. He explained that Biden held a winning hand when he took office with 3 COVID vaccines developed under President Trump and more. But now the storm clouds are gathering and rumbling. But last week, Biden's disapproval rate had risen into the 40s, and half the country believed America was on the wrong track. He explained continuing developments in the attack on the U.S. from COVID variants, and because of the Biden economic practices, the old demon of inflation is back. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed the gas pump prices? You notice the price of loaf of bread? And everything, even in the dollar stores, have gone up. Then Buchanan explained there is the fact Biden has presided over a sudden crisis along the southern border where 170,000 illegal immigrants are being apprehended every month, and they're doing nothing about it. She was to go down to the border and try to straighten it out, and she went to a border where there's hardly anything happening. She can go to the main border where all these thousands of people are coming in, bringing with them who knows what, including probably the COVID thing. That's why our numbers are continuing to rise in the country. It's those folks who are coming in have not had any kind of medical care, not any kind of vaccinations at all. They're bringing and spreading out across the country. Everybody's got differences of opinion, of course, on the vaccine, on how we should look and what we should look. It was, as many of you know, when things first hit over a year ago, back in March last year, I was one of the ones that tested positive. Went early, had a test and tested positive, went home for a couple of weeks. Never had any symptoms whatsoever with that. Never had any, as you can tell by looking at me, I didn't lose my appetite, didn't have any shortness of breath, anything. But they said I tested positive, so I went home. And, of course, I was on the radio with Lou and explained what's happening so folks will be aware that it's important that you be tested. And a newspaper picked up a story and put it on the front page and talked about that aspect. Well, it was months and months and months after that fact that people would look at me like I had a red letter on my chest, like, oh, he had it. Oh, look, it was almost like the scarlet letter. And even now, some people say, I was in a grocery store sometime a few weeks back, and a lady yelled across the store, "Hey, Jim Bishop, said you had it, didn't you?" I said, "Yes, I had it." But see, people get real nervous, and they don't know how to react. They don't know, should they wear masks? Should they not wear masks? Should they stay 6 feet apart, or should they not? Should we go out and eat with our friends, or should we not? Should we open up things, or should we not? Should we go to church, or should we not? It's still a mass of confusion about that. Well, a Drayton area server, this is Kitchener, Brayton Area Service says she was shortchanged on a tip from a customer after telling them she hadn't yet received a COVID-19 vaccine. Now, it's not anybody's business for them to ask you if you've had the vaccine or not. Not their business. It's a private thing, your choice. But she was a waitress, and the customer asked her if she had had the vaccine. I said, once you're at your table, you can remove your mask. That's what the waitress said. Once you're at your table, you can remove your mask. And that's when he asked me if I was vaccinated. And it kind of threw me off a little bit, said server Brooke Rue. She said there was no issue with the table through the service, but the customer left behind a note on the receipt taking issue with Rue's answer about her vaccination status. He gave me something like 4 or 5% and said he'd give me the rest when I was vaccinated. Yep. There are those kind of people out there. Grocery stores began stockpiling food, critical items as times get difficult. Grocery stores are beginning to hoard food and other critical items in preparation for rising prices and demand across the country. Supermarkets are hoarding things like baking ingredients, frozen meat, as executives are anticipating some of the highest price increase observed in recent years, according to the Wall Street Journal. David Smith, Chief Executive Officer of Associated Wholesale Grocers Incorporated, said, "We're buying a lot of everything. Our inventories are up significantly over the same period last year." Associated Wholesale Grocers, the wholesaler for over 3,000 grocery stores, recently purchased 15 to 20% more inventory. Some grocery stores are buying and storing supplies to keep their shelves full in response to an increase in demand. Paul McLean, the Chief Merchandising Officer of Stu Leonard's, told Insider the supermarket chain is purchasing 50% more inventory than usual. We're buying more ingredients for home cooks, including flour and spices, in anticipation of a shortage under the Biden administration. So there you go, folks. Somebody, I believe this was a. I've got to close out and get out of here, but I've used this before. 25 years ago, a courageous pastor from Kansas stood up and shared a powerful prayer before the opening session of the Kansas House of Representatives. You've heard about this. Pastor Joe Wright obviously loved freedom, understood its importance and the necessity of repentance. God calls in order for him to heal our nation. 25 years later, the words of Pastor Wright resound even louder than they did back then. We're witnessing today the horrific, damaging effect of deception, disease, dissension, defeat, debt, despair, destruction, and death. There's only one power that can restore freedom, peace, security, and the blessings only freedom offers, and that's Almighty God, our Creator and Heavenly Father. Here's the invocation that Wright delivered to the Kansas legislature. Listen to what he had to say and see if you think it's relevant today. We have lost our spiritual equilibrium and inverted our values. We confess that we have ridiculed the absolute truth of your word and called it moral pluralism. We have worshipped other gods and called it multiculturalism. We have endorsed perversion and called it an alternative lifestyle. We have exploited the poor and called it the lottery. We have neglected the needy and called it self-preservation. We have rewarded laziness and called it welfare. We have killed our unborn and called it choice. We have shot abortionists and called it justifiable. We have neglected to discipline our children and called it building esteem. We have abused power and called it political savvy. We have coveted our neighbor's possessions and called it ambition. We have polluted the air with profanity and pornography and called it freedom of expression. We have ridiculed the time-honored values of our forefathers and called it enlightenment. Search us, O God, and know our hearts today. Cleanse us from every sin and set us free. Amen. The response was immediate. A number of legislators walked out during the prayer in protest. 6 short weeks, Central Christian Church in Wichita, where Wright served as pastor, logged more than 5,000 phone calls, with only 47 of those calls responding negatively. The church received international requests for copies of this prayer. And the legendary Paul Harvey reported it and recited the prayer. On one of his broadcasts, you can pull up an archive and hear Paul Harvey recite that as well. Don't have many ministers have the boldness to stand up in the legislature and do that, do we? All righty, I've got to make room and get out of here to get ready for My Great America with Jim and Butch coming up here in just a few moments with special guests. Enjoyed being with you, folks. Thank you for letting me rattle on and talk about some things that's on my heavy heart, and hopefully can stir up some interest with you in some way to help counter some of these negative battles that come in our way. Hope that you'll get impressed with that and do something and help us fight this battle. Meanwhile, I'll see you back here tomorrow for the morning wake-up call. It'll be a Friday morning edition. So long, everybody. Now stand by for My Great America with Jim and Bush.
When you want your ad dollars to reach the masses, call the sales team at WCAB. Call Tracy or Jim, 828-28.
Final. Simone Biles, her teammate who dropped out of that competition this week, won gold 5 years ago. But again, American Suni Lee winning the gold medal in the women's all-around gymnastics final. President Biden will have an announcement today about COVID, masks, the Delta variant, and vaccines. ABC News Chief White House correspondent Cecilia Vega says federal workers will soon face restrictions if they refuse to get the shot.
The government essentially is saying here, get vaccinated or otherwise face a number of pretty inconvenient requirements. You'll have to get tested regularly. You'll have to remain socially distant at work. We're talking about limited to no work travel. What they are not saying here, though, is if you're not vaccinated, you can't come to work. Or if you're not vaccinated, you'll get fired.
New research appears to show that Pfizer's vaccine's effectiveness begins to wane after about 6 months. Will we all need boosters? Brown University School of Public Health Dean Dr. Ashish Jha.
People who are not vaccinated should get vaccinated, but folks who got vaccinated early, January or February, who are coming up on that 6 months, will know more about waning immunity.
This week, ABC News is exploring gun violence in America. Today, we're taking a look at one city where there's been a major uptick in gun-related crimes.
On the streets of Fresno, police are busy battling a sharp rise in gun crimes. Among the many attempts to end the violence, a program called Advance Peace, befriending gang members and trying to interrupt the next shooting.
We want those who have been deemed the most lethal in our city, and we want to build a relationship with them.
But there are other ideas. California Assemblymember Mark Levine wants to place higher taxes on guns and ammunition.
Say 10% tax on handguns.
Gun groups here say the fix is dealing with mental health and getting more police on the streets. Alex Stone, ABC News, Fresno, California.
New numbers show the U.S. economy grew at 6.5% rate on an annual basis in the second quarter. This is ABC News.
Attention! This is an important message for anyone drowning in credit card debt or struggling just to make minimum payments. If you have $10,000 in credit card debt, personal loans, medical bills, or collection accounts, you may qualify for our Debt Restart program with no upfront costs. Call us right now to see if you qualify. 800-384-6781. That's 800-384-6781. This program is designed to help get you out of debt in as little as 24 to 48 months, while paying only a small portion of what you owe. If you are facing financial hardship and are falling behind, or are struggling to make minimum payments, bankruptcy is not the way out. Don't wait. Enroll now, and there won't be any upfront cost or out-of-pocket expense. Start on your way to financial freedom. Let us help you with your credit card debt, personal loans, medical bills, or collection accounts now. Representatives are standing by to take your call. Don't wait. Call now. 800-384-6781. That's 800-384-6781. Paid for by Thomas Kearns McKnight.
Fresh warnings about jetpack guy, a guy flying in Los Angeles on his own.
Possible jetpack man in sight.
Was he off to your left or right, sir?
Right wing, head out.
Roger. And do you know what altitude?
That call captured by liveatc.net. Reports of what looked like a person using a jetpack to fly near LAX first started popping up last year. The FBI and the FAA have both been investigating. As dozens of wildfires, some of them covering hundreds of square miles, continue to burn across several western states, their impacts are being felt more in the eastern part of the country. ABC Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z.
Regularly, when you get a West Coast fire or a Canadian fire, it goes up to the jet stream, and once in a great while, you'll have it settle down into the lower part of the atmosphere, say in New York or Massachusetts. Because we are having so much more smoke, the number of days that we're going to see that type of subsidence, as we call it, or sinking air, where those particulates that would have just passed in the jet stream are now going to have more chances to get down to the surface.
The huge bootleg fire in Oregon, now about 53% contained after burning over 413,000 acres. California's Dixie Fire is only 23% contained. And making its debut on stock markets this morning, stock trading app Robinhood. The IPO price set at $38. This is ABC News.
Your nose is the body's air filter, the first line of defense against airborne allergens, bacteria, and viruses. You wash your hands to protect your health. Now you can clean your nose with Navage. Online at Navage.com. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
At Target, we know there are a lot of firsts when it comes to going back to school. First looks, first bites, first day photos. So with lower prices and great deals like $8 jeans, $4 tees, and 50-cent supplies, make Target your first stop back to school.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. For today, we'll see a partly cloudy sky. Could see a stray shower this afternoon, though most areas will stay dry. What we'll see is the heat again today, with highs in the low to mid-90s. Heat index values will range from 100 to 105 degrees this afternoon. Could see a stray shower this evening, then dry Friday morning. A few more showers and storms are possible Friday afternoon, with temperatures hot again, cooler but wetter for the weekend. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
75 degrees currently. That temperature continues to climb up to a heat index today of probably over 100 right now. It's 72 and expected to climb up to about 97 temperature reading wise. It's 9:05 and it's Thursday morning.
It's time now for My Great America with Jim and Butch, a conversation about positive things about this great country. And now here are Jim and Butch.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to My Great America with Jim and Butch. And folks, I'm sure you have seen on television these movies, these pictures of people running through the airport terminals to get to a destination. Well, that's indeed what Butch has been doing this morning. Good morning, Butch, on the road. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Jim. You would not believe the conversation. I'm in Dallas, so you would not believe the conversation. I literally had minutes to go. We left Charlotte late. Our flight was at 6 a.m. That meant leaving our sweet county at about 3:15 this morning. So it's already been kind of a full day. So we came into the Dallas-Fort Worth airport late, rushed to the entryway, the terminal. And then they said, okay, anyone that has a close connecting flight, let them go first. And I leaned over and I said, I've got to get off so that I can be a part of My Great America.
Oh, I lost him. But you lost your signal there from the terminal in are you there?
Yes, I'm here. So in any event, I'm here in Dallas. And, Jim, I'll be helping launch this Quick Lot store. Ted Alexander is going to be a wonderful guest today, and really grateful to have him. Of course, you've known him for a while. And among other things, he's going to help explain basic civics about how legislation gets passed in Raleigh, some of the current realities in terms of bills that are on the table, and what people can do to be engaged citizens. So it's going to be a wonderful interview. But it was very funny, the people around me, when I said, I've got to get off for My Great America, they weren't quite sure what I meant.
A lot of people traveling this morning, Butch?
Unbelievable, Jim. The plane, literally every single seat was full. The terminal now, I can't believe it, for this early in the morning, is packed. I am sitting directly across from a Dunkin' Donuts and a Baskin-Robbins, and I counted a few minutes ago 47 people that were in line. So I don't know if that's a reflection of America's health, but everybody is sure excited to get their coffee and to get their ice cream, it appears, this morning.
Well, let me ask you this, just relative to a lot of things being discussed. Are many of the people in the terminal, are they wearing masks this morning?
Every single person is wearing a mask. And, of course, we've seen news reports that have happened here in recent months, and especially where folks on airlines have said enough is enough. They take their mask off. In some cases, there have been altercations and incidents. Of course, in their announcements, what they're doing these days is they're telling people, the pilots are telling people, it's a federal law, you have to wear a mask. And, Jim, I had a situation not too long ago where a gentleman, it could have been from any country, but I believe it was Nigeria, he leaned over to me and he said, I would be more comfortable if I knew you'd been vaccinated. And, I mean, it's just very, very interesting. Yeah, everybody's got a mask, and it's by federal mandate.
At this point, none of the airports or airplanes are forcing you to have a vaccination card showing that you have been vaccinated.
Not at this point, but you know what? I'm telling you, Jim, when you hear somebody sniffle or you, God forbid, somebody coughs, you might as well whip out a pistol and fire a shot. I mean, it's just incredible. But, you know, here's the thing I keep going back to, and I know that Ted is going to call in here in just a minute. America fundamentally is a resilient nation. We're a resilient country. I mean, you look back on all of the things that have tested our mettle. But that resiliency I really believe, and I know you do too, Jim, has been born out of an understanding of the source of our strength. It's not just human effort; it's God, and once we mortgage America's future by refusing to acknowledge America's past, we are in a very, very frightening kind of environment, which is why, Jim, notwithstanding any of the voices out there that are saying, no, this is not the America that truly was America, all of those voices need to really reckon with God's word, God's truth, and Christian patriots that are willing to suit up, show up, stand up, and be counted, now more than ever.
Absolutely. Ted is trying to get in. He said he sent a note, said he tried that number, but his number was not connected, so he must have a wrong number. So is there any way you can get in touch with him while I'm on the microphone and get him a correct number?
You keep talking. Let me know that.
Okay. He's trying to get through. He sent a note, said he tried to get the number, and the recording said that number was not available, but it's the same number that we use for our interviews when people call in. So we will make sure that he gets in here just a few moments. Senator Ted Alexander, many of you know him. He's been over here in our area on several occasions. He's a good friend of our own Senator Ralph Heiss and David Rogers, who also serves in the House. He's good friends of them and good friends of a lot of folks in this area. And he sending him the number now to get the right number in, so he should be calling in.
I just sent it.
Good. Well, he should be dialing in here in just a few moments, and hopefully.
You know what? It's like we're hurtling down the mountain, and we're all saying we're going to make it to the bottom. Okay.
We are. We absolutely are. Well, you be safe out there in Dallas, and give our regards to the governor.
Thank you, Jim. Have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And we'll wait on Mr. Senator Ted Alexander's phone call to come in here just a moment. He will be dialing that correct number now that I believe he has in his phone, and we'll get to him. Well, he's apparently the phone line sometimes from here to there to yonder is not working, so he must be dialing. Got our answering machine, and that happens when one phone line is tied up and the other one is too. It'll go directly to the answering voicemail. So we will get him on here in just a few moments and talk with him about some things. Meanwhile, it is important that we stay on top of those issues, and that's why we like to have folks like we've had in the past on My Great America with Jim and Butch, people who are out there in the fray, out there in the battle, and finding out ways that you can stay in the battle and do some positive things for our country, our state, and our district. Now we're happy to have Senator Ted Alexander on the phone with me. Senator, good morning. How you doing?
All right, Jim. How are you?
Sorry you had such difficulty getting through to us, but sometimes these phone lines are not our best friends.
I understand.
We're happy to have you on the program. Ted, I know you're not unfamiliar to a lot of folks over this way, and, of course, being from Cleveland County, you now represent that area as senator. But before we get into some questions I have for you, I want to ask you, tell our listeners a little bit about your first life. You were very important in the community before you became a senator. What were you doing in your first life?
Well, before becoming state senator, I did serve as mayor of Shelby for 8 years, and then I have been active, was and still am active in the Republican Party. I served as the district chairman, which included Rutherford County, for a number of years. And also in my real life job, I'm the Western Regional Director for Preservation North Carolina, and I cover 37 counties in the West, including Rutherford County for that.
You were also involved in the Chamber of Commerce over there, were you?
Yeah, sure. Been involved with lots of business activities all over Cleveland and county, and involved with Shelby Rotary Club, the Historic Shelby Foundation, lots of other nonprofits throughout the years, and have really enjoyed serving the people of this area in those capacities.
Well, we see you so often, and I'm glad that we do. You're a part of a lot of things that are happening over here. We feel like you represent Rutherford County in your district, but what district do you represent, and what prompted you to get into politics?
Sure, Jim. I represent Senate District 44, which is Cleveland, Lincoln, and 2 precincts in northeast Gaston County. So I cover all of Cleveland, all of Lincoln, and then those 2 precincts in northeast Gaston County up around Stanley. And, of course, I know a lot of your listeners come from western Cleveland County. So,
yes.
And what got me interested in politics, government, I think I've been interested in it, since I was young. For some reason, I just always had a real interest in history, interested in government. And you know, as you grow and develop, you feel a life calling. I tell people I felt like, God was calling me to serve in this capacity, and I think it's just part of what I'm supposed to do. And I think also it's a duty as a Christian to help create good government. So I felt like, based out of my Christian beliefs, that I needed to put those in action, I guess, so to speak.
Well, I for one, I'm sure other folks agree with me. I'm glad there are folks like you that do have a background of Christian faith and people of faith that are in places of decision making like you are, because we need more of that kind of thing. Let me back up a little bit and ask you about, I know your district there, you have a lot of mileage there. Are there any rumblings now going on in Raleigh in the legislature about a new redistricting plan?
That we will be facing redistricting this fall. The census data has not come in yet. To my knowledge, well, it actually may have come in yet, but I don't know if it's been analyzed yet or looked at very carefully. But about all I can say at this point is the legislature will draw legal boundaries, and those boundaries will be set to be in place for 10 years. So that's about all at this point in time anybody can say.
Right. Well, what are right now are the key state legislative issues on the table that you're dealing with?
I'd say a couple things, Jim. No particular order, but people right now are very concerned about job creation. Right now, there are businesses that are really hurting because they cannot get workers. As you know, the federal government generosity has, I think, encouraged otherwise productive people to through unemployment benefits just to make a rational decision just to stay home, and they can draw more money than they can working, and that has really put a crimp for a lot of different businesses. It's caused a lot of shortages of things. There's shortages of truck drivers, there's shortages of in restaurants, landscapers, you name it. And that's a really big issue right now that we've tried to address at the state level. We've tried both incentives to get people to go to work, or at least we've tried legislation for incentives to go to work, or to take away the additional generous federal monies. But both of those attempts have been vetoed by the governor, so we have not been able to successfully do that. So right now we're just going to have to wait it out until September, I guess, when those benefits cease.
So you're not getting any support at all from the governor on these issues? He seems to want to.
Not on those issues.
Yeah.
Unfortunately not. I hate to say it, but it's his veto message basically said that the unemployment money was a stimulus to the economy, and we could not afford to lose that stimulus money. And I think that that's certainly a point of view, but I think it's the wrong point of view. The election integrity is certainly a large issue still. We have passed the Election Integrity Act, and I don't think it's going to be signed by the governor as well. That would set several things that are just very common sense requirements, that election day be election day, and that all ballots be received by election day, and that people have to plan their day or plan their voting to make sure that happens, then so be it, because people plan for everything else. So election day should be election day. There should be no outside money come into the state board of elections, which we saw last election. And then, of course, we're always still fighting for voter ID. And although it's been passed constitutionally by the people of North Carolina, they want it. It continues to be challenged The federal courts have upheld it, but now it's still in a state court, and we're awaiting on a final decision on that. But so far, it's still in place until it's not. So we're still working on that. And then another thing that's really big, Jim, as you know, there's so much controversy right now about businesses and colleges and hospitals requiring their employees to get vaccines or saying that they're going to lose their jobs.
Yes.
And, you know, I'm all for these. If these are private businesses, yes, private businesses have the right to do set the parameters for their employees. However, I believe that in this particular case, there's a lot of questions to me regarding HIPAA violations. You know, are you allowed to ask an employee if they've had a vaccine? You know, there are also you know, I think religious and perhaps other kinds of exemptions that need to be taken into consideration. And I just think that this is a real tenuous kind of requirements that these businesses are doing. And I know that I myself would like to see our legislature look at those kinds of things that we could do to, you know, leverage people, especially if they receive government funds in any way, or licensing or permits from the state government, then we need to look really hard at those folks to see if they really should be doing this, because it's got people in an uproar, I'm telling you.
I think I know the answer to this question, but does the governor at all ever consult with the legislative leaders when he makes decisions about wearing masks or closing down businesses and those kind of things during the COVID? Does he seek y'all's input at all?
He may have some discussions with the leadership at the higher ups, but my impression is not really. I think he has his advisors that he uses in his administration and perhaps elsewhere, but I don't think he has a lot of consultation or input from the legislative leaders. I think it's more along the line of, here's our decision. I will give you time in advance to know about the decision. That's about it.
On a more optimistic note, Senator, what do you see for the region of North Carolina in the days ahead? Are you hopeful about the next few years?
I am. We've got to get through this job crisis here that I mentioned to you. Our economy is basically good in this area. We are having businesses opening up. Industries are coming back to the region. We have a big opening announcement in Cleveland County next week. But people need to get back to work. And if we can't do that, then it will cause some economic problems down the road. And again, you know, however, I am optimistic for this region. You know, this is a great area. We have great resources. We have great folks. We have great quality of life, and you know, we want to keep it that way. But yes, I'm optimistic.
Yeah, I know this issue was controversial among a lot of people, a lot of residents, as well as the legislature, and that is the opening of the casino over there in Cleveland County. Do you see that as an advantage to the economy, or is that going to hurt the people because of the money that's going out to the casino?
Well, there are a lot of folks who believe that this is going to bring a lot of economic development, a lot of jobs, a lot of increased tax base. And then there are also folks who, and I count myself among them, who am concerned about, one, the quality of life and how it will affect the tenor and the ebb and flow of life in the Kings Mountain area, as well as those kinds of issues that typically attend to casinos and gambling. And there are a lot of issues that are problems that come with that. And I am very concerned about those things. I know it's a balancing but I'm really concerned about, additional crime, additional prostitution, drugs, alcohol abuse, and then addictive gambling behavior. Those kinds of things need to be taken into consideration, as well as, okay, if you're going to have all this growth, that may be good, but are we going to be able to handle all that growth? Is it just going to be an explosion that we're not prepared for? So there are some, there's some real concerns, but, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, a lot of concern, a lot of challenges in the business that you're in. But what would you tell a younger adult who wants to be engaged in public service?
Well, I would tell them most definitely they need to get involved. And, of course, I'm conservative. I'm a Republican. I would tell people of that persuasion they need to get involved with the local party. They need to, there are often teenage Republican chapters. They should look for leadership opportunities, conservative leadership groups, and they're out there. There are workshops. There are, internship opportunities. And those kinds of things. I would encourage them to do that, and then volunteer for the party, or volunteer, better yet, for a candidate. If they link up with a candidate and do some help, they'll learn a lot. And I know that there are folks there, even in Rutherford County, who were in college Republican chairman, Bryson Smith. He's now the chairman of the Republican Party there in Rutherford County. And James Reedy worked for the Trump campaign. He's been very active, those folks there. So volunteer for your candidate, go to the meetings, read books, and then also, if you want to stay centered, I'd encourage kids, they need to stay in church, they need to read the Bible, and need to follow Jesus Christ, because that's how you actually stay centered for your life.
Senator, go ahead.
Those are important.
We're running out of time, but let me take just a moment and ask you, I know you're involved in preserving historic buildings and homes in North Carolina. Tell us briefly about that work.
Sure. As I mentioned earlier, I'm the Western Regional Director for a statewide nonprofit organization called Preservation North Carolina. And just real quickly, basically what we do is not unlike what land trusts and conservation trusts do by placing protective covenants on land and conserving land. We do basically the same thing for historic properties. And we get there, we get those easements and protections in a variety of different ways, but that's sort of the end game, and we've protected well over 800 properties all over North Carolina since, 1939. And I'm the Western Regional Director for that. So if you have historic resources and properties that you're looking to preserve, I'm happy to try to help with that.
Senator Ted Alexander, thank you very much for your time and being with us this morning. I appreciate the opportunity to chat with you doing My Great America with Jim and Butch. I appreciate the work you're doing and the stand that you're making and your integrity level. Appreciate you standing true to yourself and true to what you think is the right thing to do. And I hope you'll spend some time with us another day and come back and chat with us again sometime.
I would love that, Jim. We'll have to do this again, and thank you for your listeners.
Give my regards to my friend, Senator Ralph Heiss.
I will do that.
And you have a great
sure
day.
Will.
God bless.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
We're happy to have Senator Ted on the phone with us this morning. Thanks for Butch for setting that up for us as he travels around different things, doing things to help America be great, become great again, and stay great. We appreciate it very much. And we look forward to seeing you back here on Tuesday morning for another edition of My Great America with Jim and Butch. Meanwhile, have a great day, folks, and stay tuned right here.
Thank you for joining us for My Great America with Jim and Butch. Join us each Tuesday and Thursday morning at 9:05 for this enlightening program on 100.9 FM and 590 AM. It's My Great America with Jim and Butch.